No trouble at all going live. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, RJ Carter, and welcome to the Critical Blast Caverns. We are here tonight speaking with Wyatt Holliday about his new Indiegogo campaign, Ardanna #0, and there's more to it than that. And Wyatt, I'll let you tell us a little bit about that.
It's let's see. I guess I could bring it up, right?
Absolutely.
Or did you yeah, let me bring it up.
And, trust me, it goes much better if you share your screen than if I share mine.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. And
I'm loving that cover, by the way.
Oh,
the one that I stole for the thumbnail.
Right. I actually don't think I shared audio, so I'm gonna do this again. I've hosted once. I had to fill in for Mandy one time when she had a migraine. I did all right, but yeah.
That's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, I know. Turned out well though, but yeah. All right. So that was my one and only time hosting. I didn't do too bad. All right. Okay. Let me know if you can see.
We've got it pulled up here, so we're going to see the video on this. I'm going to go ahead and give it full screen.
Okay.
We can get it out as best as we can there.
And then I believe. All right, we're going to play the trailer. So here we go. It can sum things up a little better than I can. So or at least it speaks well. So all right, let's go.
Ever since I was a child, I longed to hear the stories my father would bring home. His sword was my connection to the adventures. Tales of treasure, war, and great beasts. As he worked to find what was stolen, until he never came home. It's been 15 years. I'm not the child I once was. His stories built a fire that shaped who I have become. I do not know his fate, nor can I wait any longer to know where he is, or if he's dead. One thing is certain. I will finish anyone who stands in the way of me finding my father. To hear of my adventures, visit me at Ardanna.com.
So there you have it.
That's very, very cool.
I'll
tell you right away that that art and that stylistic costuming reminds me of one of the forgotten cross-gen titles. Do you remember those back in the day?
Yeah.
I can't remember which title it was, but there was a fantasy title with a female lead, and it was one of the ones that I liked.
Ah, crap! Was it called
It was
Sojourn?
the one with all the floating islands.
I remember. Yeah, I do. I know what you're talking about for sure. But I think it was Sojourn, I believe.
Sojourn. There you go.
All right, Mandy.
This book is going to kick ass. It definitely is going to kick ass. This is everyone loves the female sword and sorcery kind of deals. That's why Red Sonja is such a big seller. Now, this isn't the first Ardanna book. Is this an origin story going back, or is this a new adventure continuing forward from where you were?
This is it is actually kind of a second chance on the first campaign from last year. That was Ardanna 0. And 14, 15 months ago, I didn't get around as much as I do now. And I kind of closed the campaign a little early. First campaign, sometimes you're gonna have a blunder here and there. And so I closed a little early, and then after I did that, suddenly a lot of people were like, "Hey, man, I like, hey, I missed it." So I've had people asking for a while, but to answer your question, yeah, it's pretty much the origin. Well, it's not so much the origin story as it is the introduction. We're introducing all our major characters. It's kind of starting the path. Imagine everything that leads up to Frodo leaving the Shire. And so we are getting started. We introduce our villains and get rolling as we move to volume 1.
So now who is doing the art on that?
It's a buddy of mine from a while back. His name's Dean Flores. And we first met, I guess, maybe 2009, and we had discussed working on some stuff together back then. Things just didn't work out, and maybe a year and a half ago, we kind of met up again and decided, hey, let's do this. So,
has he been published in anything else before?
No.
Really? That's amazing, because he's definitely showing the chops for the business.
Oh yeah. He's a talented guy, man.
But now, is this isn't your first book, though, is it?
No. I did like this. It was my first campaign, but then I also co-created Rocket Gal and the Mole Men of Mars with Peter Gilmore.
Yeah, because we've talked before, so I didn't know if this was like your first thing, and then you put it on the shelf and moved forward and came back to it, or how.
Yeah, right. No, this is technically my third campaign. So and Rocket Gal is in demand at the moment, and and then Ardanna's live. So
that's a different kind of book, the Rocket Gal, compared to Ardanna.
Both
artistically and thematically, and well, I don't know, they're both showing the same amount of boobage. So
yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, there's a running theme. So know thy audience. It's the good comments. So this is just. You just launched something with this today. I don't want to say it's the campaign, but you did something with it earlier today, right?
Well, we launched Friday, and then man, it's just been moving fast since then. It's going pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way things are going so far. And as far as today, I think I've just been doing updates. Everyone who backs the book will be getting a foil trading card. We have not revealed it yet. It's still in the works. I should be able to show it off within the next couple of days, but it's going to be pretty nice.
Have I given you my Comicscape trading card sermon yet?
No.
Okay. Because this whole crowdfunding thing is we're all helping each other out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're back in your campaign, you're back in my campaign. Hear me out. Instead of everybody doing 9 trading cards of their characters and saying, here, you can put them all in one sheet, we get 9 people in, I'm going to just call it crowdfunding, because if I call it Comicscape now, who knows who that is tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And to my point, you get 9 people in Comicscape who can get along for as long as it takes for each of them to get their books out.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them puts out 1 card, but that 1 card, when put into the 9-panel sleeve, will make 1 picture of all 9 of them. So if you have somebody who's getting Ardanna and Rocket Gal, and they see that they're getting a card, and they realize, oh, this is going to make a huge picture. If I get these other 7 books done by these other 7 creators, I'll have a complete set because I backed all 9 of the books. You all helped each other out with the fact that you've got these interconnecting cards, and people who get all 9 of them have got a unique collectible that it took them a chase to go through, rather than I bought the whole set at one time just because I gave over $50 instead of $30.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Mandy has kind of something similar to that going with the memberships on her channel, and I can actually show you. Let me see if I can make this work. There we go. So this was the card. This is, of course, it's Wyatt the Wizard, but that was her card for last month for members. And then this month's card is Ardanna. And there will actually be 9 of these. And when they all do go together to make an image like in the sleeves. And
exact same kind of theme going there.
So yeah, it's yeah, man, it's a great idea. It's just that, but like you were saying, you never, sometimes things are in a state of flux, and you really, sometimes you really don't know, 6 months from now, who may be around or what may have happened. Or
you've got 9 collaborators, and then collaborator 2 and 4 didn't fulfill on their book, and collaborator 7 says, y'all are going to dox me if I participate in this. That's not fair.
Right.
Oh.
So
it's a crazy business out there. I mean, okay, to put it in perspective, though, all you folks who are doing comic books on your own, I make you other because I make no comic books, so I'm outside of it all. But all you guys are just, y'all infight with each other about who said what nasty about whom. Whereas in professional comics, y'all need to step up your game here. Professional comics, people are getting Me Too'd for sexual harassment and grooming kids. Your petty crimes are just not going to measure up if you're going to make it in this industry, guys.
Well, that is a lofty achievement to aspire to, but I largely stay out of all that stuff, man. As far as I'm concerned, we make our books, we interact with our people, we take care of our customers, we fulfill. We deliver, and we just try to help everybody out as much as we can, so
just make the comics and you'll stay in business.
Yeah,
that's the whole, make good coffee, quit trying to add flavors that nobody's asking for.
Right.
Now, you've said that Ardanna 0, that's the beginning, that's the introduction, that's getting up to where Frodo leaves the Shire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming at some point Frodo does leave the Shire, so you got more a continuing adventure coming out of this particular one, or is this a self-contained kind of origin story?
These, you could say, I mean, parts yes, part no. Like the actual story that's taking place in the book, it's in this issue itself does come to completion, but this is the lead into, a major villain that's been introduced. It's like, everything's just getting started. In issue 0, she starts recruiting some of her allies that are going to come along with her. And, one of them's a guy in a dungeon she's got to get out. And whereas, there's another guy, he's a wealthy ruby miner who he didn't intend to find rubies. He actually thought he bought a map that was going to lead him to silver deposits, and he got swindled, so the map wasn't even real. But luckily for him, once about the time they were out of supplies and provisions, and his people were ready to turn on him, he found rubies. And so now he's super rich, and he's kind of actually, let me show the campaign, because I believe he's on here. I don't know why I closed it so early, but yeah. So now he is he was an explorer, and so now he's looking for something new, and he will need a bodyguard on this adventure, and Ardanna's going to be just the one. So
sounds cool. I see Mandy's in the chat with Heroine Berg, and we had Heroine Berg on the other night. So I've got to take the opportunity to say, hey, Heroine Berg, come up with a character and a costume for Mandy to wear in your live-action superheroine series that you do, and have that crossover kind of thing we were talking about. Because I think Mandy would have a lot of fun with that, and I think all her followers would have a lot of fun with getting to know Heroine Berg.
So, word on the street is that she's talking that she might do a cosplay calendar sometime fairly soon. So
very cool. All right, so we got Ardanna here. Did I not click on? Oh, there we go. I'd like to make it as big as possible.
Yeah. So I'm looking at one screen right now, so I can't really see what else is going on. But if you can see everything,
yeah, you're scrolling.
This I call this the Legendary Edition. It's the story you got. If you back the original campaign, the interior's the same thing. 24 pages of story. The size of a standard comic, but this version will have a few pages of bonus content, which will include kind of a character guide as far as who everyone is, as well as a legend that goes with the map in the book that gives more information about some of the locations and regions. And this is our cover for this is the standard cover for this edition.
Now, is that cover done by the same interior artist?
No. This is oh my gosh, his name is Reggie. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, very, very nice cover. This is based on actually my original design sketch when I did the design sketches for Ardanna. This cover is based on my sketches, and so it's very cool to actually, see it look good just as drawn by someone else. And this cover is the interior artist. This is a variant of a variant, you could say. In the original campaign, this was the variant cover, except it was sunny and on the beach. And but this particular version is a recolor so that it's night and moonlight and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that's copper tone Ardanna.
Yeah. And here we have the interior art.
Very, very cool.
And this is her father, as we saw in the trailer. Yeah, this is her younger. I guess
Meridian.
Maybe
Meridian's the book I was thinking of.
Oh, Meridian, yes, okay. And then here she is, not as a kid.
You aged her. That's
yeah.
That's going to cause outrage on Twitter, I believe.
I think I'll get away with it. So yeah, this fellow here, he's Nestor of Nakiya. He was the explorer and ruby mine proprietor that I was referring to earlier. But these guys show up, and they got some paperwork here that says he needs to come with them, but he's not having it. His buddy here sold him out. He looks kind of disappointed about that. And this guy, he thinks he wants to fight, but that doesn't turn out too well for him. And so our perks, you can get both covers and the companion. The companion was available with the original campaign. I have a ton of them left. So they're available with this one as well. It's a 24-page black and white book. It has, design sketches, page layouts. I had originally intended a few years ago, Ardanna was going to be a series of novels, actually, of fantasy novels. And I had written a good maybe 50 to 65% of the first book. So there are samples from there in the companion. It's a really cool book. Everybody who's gotten it really likes it. So I would decide to make it available here. But you can get both covers and the companion for $40. If by chance you backed the first campaign but didn't get the companion and you want it this time and that's all you wanted, I just put that there. It's got, nobody's gotten that one, but it's
It
there
took me a
just in
second
case
to
they
figure
did.
out what that cover was.
What's that?
It took me a second to figure out what that cover was because I'm sitting here thinking, why is Watchman's Owlman flying at us in his ship on the cover? But no, that's the breastplate.
Yes, and it is actually an owl. So that is that's their family symbol.
Well, I was just saying, what's the significance of the owl for the series?
Oh, that is their family symbol. That is actually what is on this paper right here. So
Okay.
this is where, when he would come back from his adventures, he would oftentimes bring things back to show her or to prove that, he's on the trail of what he's looking for, which is that their family was basically their family was possibly tied to some sort of lineage where they've been kind of they're not in charge anymore. They got ousted at some point or whatever the case may be, but he believes he's related to this famous bloodline. And when he brings this back, this was a carving that he found on a wall, so he had to do a charcoal rubbing, so to speak. And yeah, so that's what ends up being on this paper. But yeah, that is their family symbol. It's an owl. And there will be there's a lot to be revealed about that. It's gonna be very cool. So no spoilers, but that's yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So what's the what's the pledge drive number at right now?
We are at 2,845 with 59 backers.
Oh, I'm looking at a solid green bar here, man. You passed that 1,500 goal a long time ago.
Yeah, we got funded the night we launched. So like I say, everything's going really well. It's had very positive response. I'm super happy and super thankful for the way everything's turned out, and everyone's just been so supportive and so just, yeah, it's exciting, man. It's
well, now let me ask you this. Was 1,500 enough to do the book?
Yeah, because the book was already done.
Okay.
We already delivered the first campaign. So yeah, the only, all I needed this time was really a cover and a couple other things. So yeah, all I got to do is print.
Some people go low, and then they know they need 3,000, but they shoot for 15 because they know that if it gets 15, then it'll get traction, it'll get above the 3. But if they actually add the 3, then they might not get more than 25.
Yeah, 15 probably. That's about what it would take. That's what it would probably take to print and ship. So I mean, that's the bare minimum. Especially since everyone's already been paid. It's been finished. So yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend doing that with your first campaign. No, I'd say try to get a little closer to what you actually need. Yeah, the original campaign, I think my goal was 3,500, and that would have been, it probably wouldn't have been quite enough to do I would probably still had to, dip into my own pockets there, but
yeah, it usually takes about, if you get a decent cover artist who's experienced and a name in the industry, it's going to take you at least $6,000 to get it all done, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you can
$1,000 is why I'm not launching a comic book of my own, because I can't draw and I would have to hire somebody to do it.
Not being able to draw, man, yeah, that makes it kind of tough. But just you never know what could happen, man. Hang around the community, and you never know, man.
I've got one of these mini novels I've been sitting on that, you know, would be a fun little fantasy story set in modern times. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm never really going to get around to writing that novel. Boy, it would be cool to kind of do a graphic novel, though.
Right?
Get beyond stick figures.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened here. I was working on the novel. You know, had the entire story is quite deep. And I was working on the first novel, and I got about halfway through, and I kept thinking, man, this would be so much fun to do as a comic because I mean, you know, first of all, I've always wanted to do comics, and everything just lined up. So I don't know, it's kind of like a perfect storm, and it just worked out. So
yeah, maybe I'll bump into an artist who wants to go in on it with me. I make very generous partnership deals. So, like the guy who did, well, I'm not going to say what the deal was with who I did it, but he's making 95% of everything that the thing draws in. So, yeah, I just wanted to get it done. Mandy in the chat is saying, tell him about the Kniggets, Wyatt. The Knights, not the Kniggets, the Knights.
Oh, the Knights, yes. Yeah, let me get over there. These guys, the Kniggets, that's Monty Python.
Yeah.
But these Knights, these guys are called the Ordo Mordoom, which is the Unliving Order, and they are basically chosen at birth and trained all their lives so that they become bound to their armor in death, so that they keep going even after they're dead. They are, you know, they're eternally in the service of where their dark power comes from, which will be also revealed. Yeah, and then you know, the longer they've been dead, the darker this crimson will be, and so you don't know, you know, can't tell really here who you know, maybe still alive.
There, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that will be revealed. You know, a lot more to be revealed about that, but yeah, quite cool.
So there's sorcery involved here. It's not just chainmail. It's not just chicks in chainmail. There's gonna be magic.
Oh, absolutely magic. Yeah. It's more of a. It's not exactly the flash bang kind of magic, like you know, like a Dungeons and Dragons fireball or something like that. It's more like we summon this dark spirit or dark entity or even a demon or what have you, like almost, you know, kind of like Conan, in that, you know, almost all magic is going to come from a dark source. So not necessarily all, but almost all. And so, yeah, there's magic and yeah, monsters and all kinds of stuff. It's yeah, very you know, it's a little you know, obviously there's the Conan and Red Sonja influence, but I also draw a lot of inspiration from Greek mythology, other classics like Orlando Furioso, Beowulf, things like that.
Yeah, what was it? Obviously Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of you know, variations on the same theme here to draw from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, and due to the color scheme, she's been called She-Ra a couple times. So I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she's blonde and her outfit's gold and white, so why not, right?
I don't see where the confusion sets in here, because everyone knows that She-Ra is a 12-year-old boy.
Right. On Netflix anyway, or wherever that abomination is.
Heroine Berg in the chat types up here, I just backed Ardanna Moonlight Swim version, spending a little shrubbery. Thank you, Heroine Berg.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks, man.
Knowing that somebody did, always glad to know that these video interviews actually help the people I'm talking to. That we're not just wasting our time into the ether. So,
right. Awesome. So he backed this one here, so that's nice. you can get the Legendary Edition. This is your standard one for 15. And the Moonlight Swim variant is also 15. It's just a variant cover. You can get the standard and the companion for 25.
Say $5.
You can get both covers for 30. And this is and then the featured perk is both covers and the companion. So back up there for that one. And then this is got a funky kind of name, but it's Legends of a New Age, and is everything from both campaigns. So it is all 4 books from the original campaign, which are these 4, and then all 3 that are in this one. So it's 7 books. And I had enough leftovers to comfortably put together 25 of these. But once they're gone, that's about it. On the books from the original campaign, had a pretty low print run, so they're quite. I'm sorry.
Are you planning any stretch goals as you go along here, or are you just saying it's 30 days and we're done?
No, we're gonna have some stretch goals. As soon as I get the foil card where I can show it to everyone, that will be for all backers. And then the first stretch goal is going to be
a poster. That Moonlight Swim cover needs to be a full-size poster.
I could probably make that happen. Yeah. I think the original one was pretty. Let me go grab the original one.
They're both gorgeous, but if I had a preference.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. One moment, please. All right. There we go. Now we'll share again. This was the original version.
Oh,
so,
yeah, daylight.
Yeah. So this one was on the beach, nice and sunny and all that good stuff. And then
is she holding suntan lotion in her hand there?
Yes, she is, in a potion bottle. So I thought that'd be really cool to to make it the potion bottle. And so yeah, that was the original. So
all that picture is missing is a little puppy trying to pull the back of her bottoms down.
Yeah. Like what was it? Coppertone.
Like Jodie Foster in the Coppertone ad.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's it's nice sword and sorcery fantasy book. Of course, the catalyst for getting our story started is her search for her father, but there's going to be so much to uncover and reveal and discover, and all kinds of bad guys to deal with. So,
and I like that it's an ongoing, but it's told in this first chapter. You read it, you're satisfied with the ending, and then you can get the next one because you liked how the first one went, and you get a little bit more of the big story, but again, hopefully another self-contained piece as well.
Yes.
Epic.
Yeah. The next book and any books after that. This one was only 24 pages, and I made it number 0 because it was kind of testing the waters, to see what would happen. I didn't want to exactly go do a 60-page book if I didn't even know. You know what I mean? If you don't know how things are going to turn out, maybe it's maybe you want to. I'm kind of cautious. At times. So, but any books after this one will be at least 48 pages. They will be self-contained stories, but the overall story will last quite a while. But each one will have its own self-contained. When it's done, that adventure is over.
Now, what kind of a book physically is it going to be? You give the page count, but is it going to be floppy like a DC comic, or is it going to be more of a stiffer cover?
It is a stiffer cover. It's kind of it's to be really technical, it's 100-point cardstock. But for most people, that's I'm trying to think. Like if you remember some of the maybe like in the 90s, Marvel and Image, like how they would do how the embossed covers would be a little thicker of a stuff. It's more like that.
Okay.
And then but otherwise it is like a floppy. It's saddle stitched, so it's stapled. And in the future they will probably have to be perfect bound, because I don't really like anything over 48 pages to have staples.
Yeah.
So
like the DC 100-page things that they've done, or that Joker 80th anniversary edition.
Okay. So whereas this one is a little closer to a floppy, everything else after this will be closer to a graphic novel. So
what about shipping? You going to put it in a Ziploc bag and mail it in a padded envelope?
Negative.
I thought that lesson had been learned after that Han Solo fiasco, but apparently some places did not get the memo.
No.
Since then,
everything comes bagged and boarded, and I mail it in the Gemini flash mailers that are specifically made for comics. Everybody. My first campaign, I think I had maybe 150-ish backers, and no one has reported damages. So it appears everyone got everything without incident. And I know there are a few people, overseas who are, they're still waiting. There are a couple who are still waiting because of, whatever, like, the pan thing, the pan, thing, huh?
They got to run everything through a microwave to kill any germs on it before they can.
Yeah. So a couple of my guys, like in like Austria and a couple of other places, are but everything has been shipped. Oh gosh, a long time ago. So yeah, man, bags, boards, Gemini mailers.
Yeah, you fulfilling it all yourself, or are you having a service do that?
Did it all myself. So yeah, I'm pretty hands-on. I like to make sure. It's just the way. Yeah, it's just the way I am, man. I like to, if I do it myself, I can make sure it's done right, and to me, that's the most important thing. So.
I agree. I'm very anal retentive about stuff like that too. It's just I want, when it leaves my hands, I know that it's been put together as best as possible. I don't trust people.
Yeah. I just if I do it, I know it'll be right. And even with the first campaign, if the back cover is black, so it's it's prone to get scuffed if it moves around too much in transit and so forth on its way to me. Just the various, the most minor nick, I'd pull it out and it go in the scratch and dent pile. And yeah, I wanted to make sure everything was flawless and arrived in the best condition possible.
That's your discounted readers issue pile that you sell later.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll definitely probably need to do that. So.
All right, so you've finished up Rocket Gal, which is going into fulfillment. You're obviously going to fulfill this one because it's well past its goal line and it's just going to climb higher now. Mm-hmm. What do you got on the artist's desk or the writer's desk here that you're thinking, hey, we're just like a month or two out from launching this campaign?
Well, I can't really go into too much detail on that, but I can say that
speak in generalities.
Yeah, if you like anime and manga, you'll like what's coming next. I want, a little it's gonna be a little different. So I always wanted to play in some other genres before I get into the superheroes, because I think once I get there, I might get stuck. So
I wonder what the rules are on anime and manga as far as public domain goes. Do they ever go into public domain? Has anything done that? Obviously, it's a different set of laws over there. I've never checked into that.
I wouldn't know. I don't know.
And the reason I ask is that I would love to get my hands on doing a Johnny Sacco series.
Mm.
Do you remember Johnny Sacco? It was very old and was black and white television show.
I kind of have the images come to mind, but I don't remember.
I'd get up as a little kid and tune it to UHF early in the morning when the shows came on, and it was like the half-hour show of Ultraman, and then the half-hour show of Johnny Sacco and his flying robot. And he just into the watch and controlled this giant mech robot that could fly. So truth in advertising. And I remember his fists would fly off of him and go punch the giant monsters and then come back and reconnect.
Sure, like Mazinger Z or Transor Z, kind of in a way. Yeah. Do you remember that one?
I do. Yeah. But he fought a giant vampire, and that son of a bitch gave me nightmares for a year. I was really little. I was like 7.
Yeah, no, I get it. I wasn't too thrilled by a vampire in Scooby-Doo one time when I was a kid. So
Vampires and the Blob both were things that just kept me up at night. But yeah. So okay, cool. It seemed like there was something else I was going to ask about, but I'm going to guess that there's not.
Well, Rocket Gal is in demand, and I can
let's take a look at some Rocket
Gal. I can bring that up so we can take a look at. Let's see.
Let's sell us some RG. Because I'm sure there's more to look at now than there was the last time I was talking to you guys about it.
Yeah. Rocket Gal, we're in demand. We're at 14,375, and it's been going quite well. We're going to be in demand maybe another couple weeks because we are fulfilling in July. So we're getting ready to go to print. I will overprint enough to make sure we don't find ourselves in a wormy situation where we don't have enough books for the backers. So
always good to have too many than too few.
Yeah. This one's 32 pages of story, color, of course. We have a standard and a variant cover on this, both by Peter Gilmore, who is the interior artist. He worked on the Case of the Littlest Umbrella.
Yes. I like that variant cover. It looks like he put some kind of a fog over the artwork there to make it look a little bit more, give it some depth.
Yeah.
Through something to see her.
It looks very 60s far out. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing looked very 60s far out as far as the costuming and the themes go. I mean, this is the world that Barbarella could step into easily and not feel out of place.
Easily, yeah. Barbarella, the Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century series.
And Dynamite's real friendly to these crossover deals.
Mm-hmm.
And they've licensed Barbarella. So
Right. Yeah, there was someone saying the other day that they wanted Ardanna and Red Sonja crossover. And I was just like, well, I mean, I would certainly, if the opportunity presented itself, I'd certainly have to look into that, So
Sometimes you got to make your own opportunities and knock on some doors.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Man,
Ardanna
I'm
and
just getting
Restonia's
started, you know. Yeah, this is kind of, this is pages 1 and 2. We start out. I liked kind of. I thought it would be cool to start this out. The old cliffhanger serials.
Yeah, Republic
From,
stuff.
yeah, Republic serials. Yeah. I kind of liked the idea of starting each book out with like the end of the previous adventure, which it doesn't mean that book 2 will have the end of book 1. We just have a made up previous adventure. And
sort of like the Batman, the Brave and the Bold series did, that animated show.
I've never seen it, but yeah, if that's how they went about it, yeah.
Oh yeah, every episode was like the first 5 minutes was the close of some climactic big battle with Batman and Buona Beast, and then they'd go to the credits, and then they'd start the new adventure and finish that out.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, then, yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on here. In this case, our bad girl here, she wants to incinerate these little cute fuzzy guys with her big cannon, and Rocket Gal's got to prevent that from happening. And so, and then we will move on to our story where the dreaded mole men of Mars get our 2 scientists here, and that's where our story really begins. This guy's got a question mark on his face because these were the drawn in perks, so you could be one of these 2 scientists. Both of those sold. And these were permanent characters, so they will be in every book from now on. And yeah. So they're the 2 greatest minds in the galaxy, and but the mole men get them while they're doing a survey on Mars, and Rocket Gal and her trusty dog Booster have to go rescue these other 2 guys. They were drawn in perks as well. They're just for this issue, but but they're military guys that. I'm sorry.
Is Peter giving us fake news here in the chat? Because he's saying that Rocket Gal and Mars Attacks crossover 2021.
I think that's wishful thinking. I don't know that it's fake news because I can't predict the future, but once again, probably wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I can write the dialogue for the Martians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and so Rocket Gal and her crew, which consists of more than the dog, they there's the nice 1950s 60s rocket ship we've got. I love the I'm a big fan. I don't know if you remember the Filmation Flash Gordon from the 70s.
Yes.
Love that show. So, of course, the rocket would look, we wanted everything to look kind of like a 1960s vision of the future. So 50s, 60s.
With passenger windows, of course.
Of course. And it's a lot bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and all that. So and then our hero, she's gotta deal with these the mole men. And, Booster, he doesn't mind helping. He's a space lassie, and we hit our 5K and our 10K, and speaking of Mars Attacks, our trading cards at those perks are very much inspired by the original Mars Attacks series of cards.
Now, we haven't unlocked the 15K yet, but I forgot the number, but you're close.
Yeah, we're close. We're at 14,375, so about 625 away. So not too far. Peter gave him a nice, it's kind of washed out, and it's got that nice vintage look as if the cards were old. They're going to be really cool. And then, it's got story on the back. So written by me, of course, and so that's Rocket Gal. She's got to rescue these guys on Mars. I did forget to hit share audio, but I can play the trailer. I'll do it one more time here.
Let's take a look at that trailer.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen it. So, all right. I didn't do it again. I see why Mandy always says, "Damn it, I forgot to hit the share audio." Because man, it happens. This should be by default. You know?
It should.
Yeah, I mean,
share a window that should carry the video with it, or the audio with it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get us going here.
I'm not hearing anything. Are you hearing anything? Are you hearing me? Well, I hope everybody heard that because I heard nothing.
Oh man, really?
but there have been plenty of times where I've had like 5 people on the chat, and one of them I can't hear a thing he's saying, and everybody else is like, "Yeah, we hear him just fine," and he comes through on the video. So,
well, it was really groovy music, and Peter made the trailer, and the trailer was awesome, and the music was awesome, and it was like a.
I feel like I was there now.
Yeah, just you know, a nice 60s, 70s groovy tune. You know, you feel like you've done some, you know, recreational some recreational substances. And
trailers have become an art form of their own kind lately, especially, you know, with people pushing their Indiegogos now. Your Ardanna trailer, how did that come around? Who's the voice on that? You had to get some. That's not you.
No, that's definitely not me. The Ardanna trailer was actually made by Ascension Cinema, who made the Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet trailer. We got together, had a couple meetings, figured out what we wanted to do with it, and you know, he produced it from there, got the voice actress and all that, and we put it together, and it turned out quite cool.
That's very cool. You know, there's like a cottage industry that you can sell your services to other people making comics.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make comics. You take their artwork and you just make a video out of it. Peter says the audio came through fine, so good. It was just
good.
Me. I'll go catch the replay.
Definitely go check it out. Yeah, the trailer says 24 pages, but about 5 minutes after Peter made the trailer, I said, "Peter, we can't do this in 24 pages." Even though that was our original plan, we needed about 8 more pages to to really fully tell the story the way it needed to be told, and so. You know, we bumped it from 24 to 32, and so yeah, but that was about 5 minutes after he finished the trailer. So, oops. But yeah, 32 pages.
Planning, there's nothing like it.
Right.
All right. Well, we have almost filled up an hour here, and we've got to talk about not only Ardanna #0, but also the in-demand Rocket Gal, which I will add a link to in the description so that people can go out there and pick up that as well. We do have the link in the description to Ardanna #0, so if you like what you've seen here, and why wouldn't you, if you're catching this on the replay, go down and click the link in the description and be taken to the Indiegogo page where you can get one or the other or both covers for Ardanna and find out what these guys are putting together here. Add it to your collection, have something special, because this is, when it comes to limited print runs, this crowdfunding stuff is about as limited as it gets.
Yeah. Especially, for those of us who aren't, printing 3,000, 5,000 copies at this time, Yeah, the first print run of Ardanna, there were what I would call two major covers, and then two that were, more exclusive than that. And the two that are most common only have a print run of 250 copies each, while the other two have 150. So if you got one of those, then I can't I can't determine value or anything like that, but I can tell you what the print run is. So
it's like having it's going to be like having a #1 issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when it first left Eastman and Laird's garage.
Man, I wanted that so bad, girl. I mean, I wanted even like a 5th printing was expensive when I was a kid, and so a 3rd printing was like ridiculous for a kid on allowance. So grass cutting money.
I had, the last Overstreet I picked up was this one. So it's like 2 years old, but I haven't checked the more recent ones to see who the first crowdfunded comic book people are who are going to make it into an Overstreet price guide to see what the aftermarket value is on this stuff.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll be impressive to see.
Because limited print run, if somebody for whatever reason decides to sell their collection, it'll be something in demand. You can't just go out and usually find it in a long box somewhere. It's not something they printed millions of copies of.
No.
I'm going to make that a project now to just start watching for that and see what happens. I mean, we know that copies have been selling on eBay of Cyberfrog and other books, so
yeah.
So people are reading them and getting rid of them. I'm not sure
or buying extras to sell.
There you go. That's what they're doing. They're buying extras and trying to make their money back.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's more optimistic outlook. All right. Well, Wyatt, it's been a pleasure having you on the show as always. And I no longer need to wear this. I'll just take it off and let my head breathe a little bit now.
Well, man, thanks for having me, RJ. Always a pleasure to be here for sure, man.
And whenever you get that next top secret project off and running, we want to have you back here and take a look at it and get people in to back that thing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you.
And everybody in the chat, thank you for showing up. We just recently crossed that 1,000 subscriber barrier that I've been pushing so hard for, and now it's saying 1.01, and I realize that's 1,010. Not a huge safety bucket yet, but it's climbing, and we're very thankful for everybody to come do that. Now we have to cross another border. We have to cross that 4,000 hours of video watch time. So if you're bored, go all the way back and see some of the interviews we've done. We have one of our earliest interviews on here is with Harlan Ellison about a year before he passed. And you can get to see him tell me I'm an idiot and ask a stupid question.
Oh my gosh, Harlan Ellison, man. Even getting smack talked by him's got to be an honor, right?
It absolutely. I mean, first thing out of my mouth, he just looks at me and says, "Well, that's a stupid question." I'm like, I knew it would be.
Yeah.
I had no doubt.
I show people Harlan Ellison videos, and I'm like, "Look at this. This is going to be me when I'm old." Just so you all know. So,
I replay that meeting over and over in my head, thinking, how could I have asked that question different? I wish I could go back and do it. And he has, his wife is the sweetest person in the world, but she's like a badass Mary Poppins because she's from England. And I remember I was talking with him while he was signing at his table at the convention I was at, and they were like, okay, we got to cut the line off somewhere. So she goes out and picks the arbitrary place in line, says, we got to stop it here. Well, the guy who would have been next was very, very unhappy and did not know who she was. And she did not have a con organizer badge on, so he did not respect her authority, and got a little confrontational with her. So she told him who she was, and then took the next 10 people behind him and let them up. So he was chastened, but you know, she was perfectly sweet with me, and Susan Ellison's a wonderful woman. Was happy to send them. I had my first Destroyer book with me at the time, and my Alice in Wonderland book, and I gave them each a copy of one.
Nice.
Glad they're in good hands. So anyhow, we're going to end the audio on that, and just again, thankful for everybody showing up. Appreciate if you help us push over that 4,000 hour mark, and we will be back later this week with somebody. We don't know who yet. Be a surprise.